Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and welcome to another Monday Me Time. So Monday Me Time is actually brand new because I must apologize, and I'm going to apologize again after more people start coming in here. I really meant for Me Time Mondays to be pre-recorded. And with all the setup and all the moving and everything, I just haven't been able to pull my crap together. So I decided that this Monday I would just do it live so that I could talk to you, find out more of the things that you guys have been looking for, and I should have you guys on blah chat. Hold on a second. I just have to find it again. Okay. So yes, I should have you on chat here as well. So I'm just going to give a few minutes for people to come in so that we can talk about it. I've done a lot of things on my channel. I started in 2012, I believe it was. We have, gosh, I shouldn't even say that. I don't even know how many subscribers I have. 18,000? I can't remember. But anyway, that's not the important part. What we're talking about today are Trust My Crafts transfer me pages, and there are lots of different ones. So they have brand new white on white. So like if you use a dark paper, you can use the white ones to transfer onto your project. They also have just black and white, and basically the white is transparent. So you really have to look at them to make sure, is it going to be white or is it going to be transparent? Because if you put it on a background that's colorful, and you think it's going to be white and it's not, it's transparent, you're going to have all that color coming through, and then it might not be exactly what you're going for. So, gosh, I thought there were a couple people that were coming today, but this is such, it's just so out of the blue that if people don't come in right away, I totally get it. I will just keep moving on, no big deal. I have a couple of things because this stuff will stick to literally everything. You can put it on glass, plastic, metal, canvas, paper, cardstock, uh, chipboard, whatever you want to put it on. And actually, I had some chipboard I was going to do. Not sure what I did with it. But this cover is basically chipboard. I have a box that I will probably be getting to, putting something on there while it's still flat, and then I can put it back together. I may use some of Tim Holt's brand new colors. If you saw his demo, he's got these warms, naturals, and I can't remember what he calls the other one. But anyway, I've got a bunch of that here as well. And then to show you just a couple, literally just a couple, because there's, I don't know if there's hundreds or what of these things. Oh, here's the big piece of chipboard. And I was going to try to put a whole big piece on here. We'll see how that works out. I might still want to do that because then I thought I could cut this down and make it into tags and stuff. A really fun idea. And so this came from this whole piece right here. And so I just cut around and cut off a piece that I wanted. So it was a huge piece like this. I cut it down. Here's another one that has a huge piece. It shows you the whole thing, or you can cut it down. Maybe you just want a cut piece of this green because it looks really cool. Maybe you just want the stones. You can do whatever you want with it. You can cut it, you can die cut it, you can punch it. Don't be gentle though, like die cut it, punch it right through so that it comes out. I don't think I'm going to do punches today. Depends on if people come on and chat and they really want me to try that. It just that, so I'm not sure. Here's another one, and I literally only have 3 today to show you, but there's tons of them, trust me, lots and lots. Here's another one. I really love this one, that's why I picked it. Now everything that you do for Transfer Me has a sheen to it, a shine to it. So if you cut this around, you're going to get a square of shine. If you just want this image, you need to fussy cut as close as you can, because everything that you put down is going to have a sheen to it. I think you'll get what I mean. Hey, Kathy, hello, hello. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. And like same thing here, I believe these flowers will come out white, but some of the stuff that's white comes out transparent. Like this O in love, that's not going to come out white in the center. That's going to be transparent. So you're going to get this black wording over the top. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and play around with this stuff, and hopefully you guys have some ideas. Hopefully you get interested in. It's super fun. It's something like really different than the other things that we've been doing, and I love it when they come out with new products. It's super fun. So let me move some of this off to the side. We'll probably be using the chipboard and putting something on the box as well, and I mentioned that. There's a couple different ways you can do this. The most mentioned way is to get, this is a little cover for a pan that I have, and I have water in here. That's the easiest way. Dunk the whole thing in water, and then put it on your project. I'm going to try this chipboard first. I've not physically done this. I thought I would wait until you guys came on to just try it out and see how it went. I've seen people demo it though, so I thought I would demo it for you guys so you could see something new. On the top of this shiny part here, is a thin piece of acetate that has to come off before you do the transfer. And I have nails and I'm still having a problem getting that off. There we go. Now, I don't know if we can reuse this or not. Ooh. And now, no one else has ever mentioned the smell, but let me tell you, it smells like paint. It's a nice, pleasant smell, but definitely a smell, just so you know. So it's sticky now. That's the sticky part that's going to go on there, and then the paper's going to come off. These are just like those tattoos you used to get when you were young, where you would put the tattoo on your skin and then wet the tattoo on the outside and then peel it off, and the tattoo stayed on your skin, but the paper came off. Exactly the same idea. Now, let me go back. I said 3 different ways. One is dunking the whole thing in the water and then putting it out. I should digress and go back and tell you what you need for it, but since this is live, we'll just keep going on, and you can see as we progress what you'll need. So, the whole dunking of the water and then putting it on, or you can put it on and then paint it with water, which I think is a lot easier when you have big pieces versus, the little ones are really simple. So, or you can spray the water on. That's like the third way, but you'd have to spray it a lot. So I am going to put mine on. It's going to be just slightly too big, so I don't know what'll happen. I'm just going to make sure that I don't have any bubbles. And then what I was told was to start in the middle and go out. Much like any other products that are like that. So I'm just going to take some water from here, and I'm going to start in the middle. And once you add a bunch of water, you should start seeing the image on the other side. You'll see what I mean as this goes. So you want to make sure that you get the edges real well too. And I didn't even go from the front and go out, but I was told that you can do that after it's done as well. So we'll just see how this works out. This is my first try. I'm thinking that the parts that don't look saturated might be bubbles. I'm not sure. But I'm going to make sure that there's nothing that looks white. And then you're supposed to be able to just lift this paper off once it decides that it's stuck down. Good golly, I guess I should. Oh, look at that. Okay, here we go. And hopefully it'll all come off real nice and smooth. But you can get cracks in it. Now, there's going to be a lot of excess, throw this piece away, but a lot of excess water on here. So they say to get a sponge and kind of like dab it off. I don't want to wreck my image, but I'm just going to take a towel because that's what I have. And there's a piece that got stuck right here. I'm hoping that I can get that off without, there we go, without damaging my piece. So the last one that I watched, she got little cracks and stuff in hers. I'm thinking that maybe there wasn't enough she didn't have enough water on it, maybe? I don't know. But that's how it goes. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to lift it up. It's just, I got a lot of water on some of this. So, and it's over the edge. So I'm going to kind of try to make sure that it goes over the edge. And hopefully I won't muck it up. That really turned out pretty. Look at that. I transferred right onto that board. Kathy, tell me, what do you think? Do you like the shine? It's beautiful, right? Imagine putting that on your card or your project, your box, whatever that you're doing. And it's starting to dry. I can tell by tipping it in the light that there are dry spots and wet spots still. So that sheen will come down a little bit. It won't be quite as shiny. I'll move that off to the side and let's see if we can do another one. This is really fun, you guys. This is super fun. I'm going to pick one this time from... Actually, you know what? I'm going to pick some of this to put on the front of this. Is like a travel one. And so I'm going to add a little bit of the water and the rocks on here. Going to make me want to do more and more of this. I just know it. It is really cool. Now this outer edge, of course, is all transparent. So you're not going to get a white edge here. You're just going to want to cut down to where you want it to be. And I think I'm just going to cut. I'm going to walk behind me and cut this down a little bit. I better make sure that I don't cut it too short. So it's not quite 6 inches wide. I'll cut it down to maybe 5 7/8. Sorry about that. I'm working on getting things a lot closer. So this one, I want to put it like right here. That looks really cute to me. So I'm going to cut this part off. This is the beauty too. I mean, you could cut it down, die cut it down, fussy cut it down to whatever size and piece that you want. And I want mine to go like right here. So I'm going to just bend mine here, and then I'll know where to cut it. That looks pretty darn close. I don't like that stitchy part, so I'm just going to cover it right over the top of that stitchy part and add this pretty piece right to the top of my album. So this is all going to get wet, of course. We knew that from the start. So I'm going to open this up. So the few things that we needed today. Basically, I used a ruler. I think this paintbrush is probably plenty big. It's a 5/8 by Royal. You don't need anything this big, but I thought I wasn't sure. And then tweezer is really super helpful. I'm going to make sure that I put this upside down because I had to flip mine to make it fit this way. And that's about where I want to put it. So remember, before you transfer, peel off that plastic and throw that away. Now I'm going to show you the dipping of the water one. This one I've also not done, so let's try it out. Basically, you're going to dip it in the water. Make sure that you start seeing that come through. You should be able to see once it looks completely saturated to you, then take it out and try not to touch the front. And once it lands, it lands. You're done. So if you think you have bubbles, you can paint them outwards. This looks pretty darn flat, so I think I'm going to be okay. I'm going to take off some of that water because I really got it all over this. And I got it on a little crooked, but you can see that it's starting to pull off. And so I'm going to just, oh, there we go. Look at that. Throw that piece away. And then take your brush back. I have a couple of bubbles in here, so I'm going to try to brush these bubbles out the top. I didn't wait long enough for my top to adhere, I don't think. There we go. Now, that water at the top, you can push down a lot harder than I thought you could, because I was afraid it would just come right back up on the towel, but it didn't. You can tell that I missed. This is that I don't like to do it this way. I've decided. You can see that that top blue was really transparent color, because look at what happened here. It was not dark enough to cover over that. It just changed it a little bit, so it almost looks like I mixed media that on there, if that makes sense. Not with a transfer, but like a rub-on or something. But look how pretty that turned out to be. You can still see the map, so it's all fully incorporated. I missed the stitching, and it's a little crooked. So if you want things to be perfect, I would suggest cutting your thing, putting it on, taking the acetate off, putting it down on your project where you want it, and then putting the water on top. Because honestly, dipping it in the water and putting it on something is much more difficult. So it's gorgeous. This one's almost completely dry already. And you can tell it has a little, do you see where it's still wet? Super shiny. Where it's not wet, it still has the sheen compared to the regular paper. It's still shiny. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, I just love that. Let me see if I can get a little of this water off too. And now I don't have any bubbles. Maybe a little bit. You can't really tell though. I think it's like anything else. You do a couple, you get better at it. It starts getting really good. I had another piece that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, that was the box. So now that we know that that's transparent, okay, and this is going to be the front of my box here, we almost don't even really need much of this except for the brush. I have a piece already cut here. Now, we know that it's not going to cover up that brown color, really, right? So let's go ahead and... I'm not sure how much of this we're going to have at the sale this coming week, but we're definitely going to do a pre-order, so we'll try to get, there might actually already be some in there. Penny is handling all that, of course, so always let her know what you need. I want to see how wide this is. It is darn near 4 inches, so that's what I'll cut this at. Just have 4 inches on this cutter. I'll try to get it a little straighter this time. So in case you came in a little bit later, this time what I'm going to do is put it directly on there and add the water. So I'm going to take off my acetate sheet, and I'm not dipping it in the water this time. Not my favorite way to do it. So I'm going to put it on this part. And then I'm going to add the water. Like I said, it's like those old tattoos where you put it on your skin and then you wet it down and peeled it off. Or some of us didn't have water, so we licked it until... Not a good way to do it. I'm not saying I would suggest that, but... So I'm just going to go ahead and paint my water on. You'll get a gist for how much water you need. So like if you're doing a project and you don't want... Like this is all cardboard, so I don't want to, you know, kill it with water. I'm gonna push it outwards. Again, like if you can see where the paper still looks real white, that's what you want to concentrate on, those spots from my experience. Now I've got almost all of that is gray. So I'm going to dab the water off. And theirs was always sliding off, but I don't see mine sliding, so I'm just going to try to peel off the paper part. Oh, my first one was so much more successful. There we go. There we go. Ah, there. Look at that. I tore the corner over here just a smidge. And now I'm just making sure that I have it pushed down over the edge because it was a little long. But I don't think there's any bubbles on this piece. Well done, me. Well done. That is pretty. Look at how dark that turned out because of the brown background. Again, this is going to be the front of my card. Do you see that? Or the front of my box, I should say. I could go all the way around with this. But I'm going to keep it on this side because I haven't shown, the last thing I want to show you guys is how to cut one of these out and use it. Yeah, definitely I wouldn't get out a big pan of water now that I've tried it myself. Save yourself the time. Just get out your water well or your rinse well. If you don't have a rinse well, totally worth getting. Let me know. We'll order some. Okay. I'm going to need a more fussy cut scissor than this. So I think we could probably put this beautiful flower right here, right over the top of that. It might be a little big, but let's go ahead and I'm just going to cut this out. Hopefully you guys can see kind of where I'm at here. First of all, I'm just going to cut this piece off of the whole sheet. Then I'm going to fussy cut it down to where I want it to be. Any of the pieces that, come off, just throw them in the garbage because they do smell like paint. I don't know what kind of colorant they use for that. I should probably find out. So we're thinking of like putting out some more mixed media type things, which is why one of these really interested me. Hi, Danny. And if there's other things that you guys want to see, we would love to hear from you. These are super easy to cut. You can use die cuts. You can use your sharp, and I'm going to say this, use your sharp punches. If you've got dull punches, don't do it. You have acetate over the top. If you take the acetate off to try it, the whole thing might just stick right to all your stuff. Looks like this is going to be very close fitting. Very, very close. All right, so let's do this. This is so cool. Peel your acetate off. This way you're not handling the sticky and wet. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I forgot that it's backwards from what you see. Okay. Well, no big deal. That'll work even better. I'm going to put it on this side. And I'm going to stick it down. And then I'm going to do the water. So here we go. I've never tried one over the top of another one. So this is like hitting two birds with one stone. Let's just go ahead and see how this works if you're on the top of another Transfer Me. Again, I'm trying to add as little water as I have to because I'm on cardboard, essentially. I don't think I'm adding enough water. Because I think the other ladies, their stuff slid because they had a lot of water. Oh, look at that. Very transparent. Let's go ahead and... Now you're barely seeing this. This is going to take some time to get used to, you guys. Check that out. I was thinking that flower would show up on the top. It's almost like another an image hidden inside that water. How cool is that? I've got a few bubbles on here. You probably can't see them from there. They're pretty tiny. They're pretty unnoticeable. But look at that. You can put a Transfer Me on top of a Transfer Me. Not a problem. Hi, Joe Lucas. Long time no see, my friend. I'm glad you came for this one because this is super cool. I did this one. Uh-oh. We're going to find out just how good this stuff is. Check it out. This stuck to the first project I did. Now, is that going to peel that right off of there? Oh, yes. Check it out. That first one that I did, I accidentally got tape on it. Look at that. The tape lifted that right off. So now what I'm going to probably have to do is put some things over the top of this to cover it up. But we're learning. We're learning all about what are the do's and don'ts and what you can do with this and not. It still smells very faintly of like paint. Yeah, not as bad as it did when we first started. Now here's the thing. They say that you need to coat this. I don't know how that works if you're just going to use it on cards, which is mostly how I use my things. But, you know, we've got gel medium and stuff like that. I would highly encourage you, even if you're putting it on a project that might come in contact with something that could stick to it, go ahead and put a light coating over the top of it so that you're protecting what you've put down. I'll do the same thing on this one. They have their own kind of protectant that they suggest. I don't know if you can reuse this acetate or not. If you guys try it out, let me know. If I come to that point, I just don't think I would. It looks a little bit cloudy. What was the other thing I was going to mention? Oh, I would probably end up using, like, well, if you really want it lustrous, use your glossy Mod Podge. But I think Mod Podge leaves things kind of sticky. I would say maybe a Ranger sealant, like I think this one is one. Let's see. Semi-gloss. Oh, that's acrylic paint. Never mind. Got a bunch of them. It's called medium, isn't it? Like gloss and matte medium. So it's like a glue, and you can also use it as a sealer. So just go ahead and use that. Yeah, so they're super fun. They're brand new. I'm sorry I can't tell you a whole ton more. But these, they're going to come in small images like this. They even have white, so you can put it on dark paper. Like I said, I love that one, so I picked that one out. They come in the large sheets where the sheet is just whole one big picture, and you can use it as the picture, or you, like I said, you can die cut or punch out or hand cut or whatever you want, stencil and then cut out any part of this that you want. My idea for this one, here's the rest of that other large one that was the beach scene and that I used part of already. I'm going to keep this little piece because I might use that down the road. Don't throw out any of your pieces. And we will be pre-ordering these at the very next sale. In case you missed it at the beginning, I started out with this color, and I put this transparent one on there with the beach scene, and do you see how I still have a little bit of water on there. So I'm going to have to come back, and I must have a little bubble in there because the water's coming out now. You can go back and get that water out of there. That's cool. There's another FYI. Just gently go over it. If you've got pockets, they'll come out. That's really pretty. I really like the outcome of this one. I like the outcome of this one. I just wish I had thought ahead more for my flower. That's the type of stuff that you want to think about when you're working with Transfer Me. And then what I had just said, and I never finished, what I want to do on this mixed media piece is now, especially where this came off, because I left it sitting and a little bit of my sticky from the bag touched it, I'm going to use some actual gold, different gold stuff, and I'm going to put some like gold flaking and stuff on here, and then I'm going to seal the whole thing. I think that's what I'm going to do with this one now. Yeah, I mentioned Mod Podge, but I feel my experience Mod Podge, if you put it on super, super light, because I feel like it just gets sticky after a while. So it's not my favorite, but glass, metal, plastic, paper, cardstock, embellishments, anything you can think of, this stuff will stick to. Just make sure that you're protecting it, especially if you're going to use it for something. I would not recommend using this for putting on things you're going to eat from, unless it's on the outside, so you're not actually, eating with it. This is beautiful stuff, you guys. I'm really impressed. I'm going to want a whole bunch of other ones now. And it dries pretty darn fast. You're going to want to let it dry. They say you have to let it dry by itself, just on its own. Do not heat this stuff. But my pieces have dried almost instantly. I mean, all I did was soak up the water with my towel, and they said use a sponge, but I used a flour sack towel. You can get these really cheap from Walmart. They don't have all this beautiful stitching on. They're just plain, but I like this. This works really well to soak up that stuff. So I think that's it. That's my demo. That's what I wanted to share with you. How did it work? How do you use it? That kind of stuff. Each full sheet, somebody wants to know how much they are. They're $4.49 for a full sheet that's this big, and I don't even know how big that is. Let's check it out. I want to say 8.5 by 11, but I'm pretty sure they're bigger than that. Yeah, they're about 12 inches long and about, would help if I started with one. They're almost like 8.5 by 12. These will not fit in, because they're 12 inches, these are not going to fit in a poly bag or a bubble envelope. So keep in mind, if you're going to buy some bigger things, use the big box. Otherwise, I can look into maybe shipping these in, larger envelopes if you're going to just get something like this, if you just want to order a bunch of them. Check it out. Go online and see which ones that you really like, because there's so many of them, you guys. It's unbelievable. There's just tons and tons of them. So you might find some that you like even better than the ones I've shown you today. So yeah, the two things that you're going to want for sure is a brush and some water and a towel. And then your scissors if you're going to want to cut something out, because I used a little bit of cutting. Don't need anything this big. I'm going to put that one away. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how I was going to do that other one, this long one. But my favorite way of doing it at this point would be to cut it out, put it on where you want it, and put the water on the back. Much, much easier. Much better control and better outcome, in my opinion. Definitely will need a sealant. Yep. Yes, yes. All right, you guys. Let us know if we'll be pre-ordering them at the next sale. There might be a couple that you can grab right away from us, but I don't think very many, because we ordered them for someone else. But at this point, we'll pre-order for everybody, anybody that wants them. So check us out. It's going to be the 25th, I think, by that point. No, Saturday the 24th will be the next sale. So if you want to take a look at Dress My Craft online and see what ones they have, let us know and we'll order those for you. All right, I hope you enjoyed this demo and that you took some time for you today. You had some Monday me time, so that's the whole point of this money. Get you inspired, get you moving for the week, and something to look forward to at the beginning of the week can always make or break the difference in how you feel. So I hope this inspired you and that you found something that you like, learned something maybe. Have an awesome rest of your week, you guys, and I cannot wait to see you guys next video.